Welcome back to the Lemon Factor. I'm Chad, and I'm back with our 10th generation Honda Accord to see if I can finalize the repairs on our rear fender here. In a recent video, I did repair a big gouge, a big scratch that included sanding, priming, adding your base layer, adding clear coat. It was rather intensive. And overall, I think it came out pretty good for the first time that I've ever done this. So I have never done any body work nor any painting. However, we did end up with a pretty good amount of orange peel as a result of me probably not applying the clear coat properly. So in today's video, I'm going to attempt to remove that. First thing we're going to do is clean this all off, and I'm going to tape off the areas in which we're going to start working on. So the reason why I think I have orange peel is, one, I think it was a little too cool the day that I applied it. So I think if it was warmer outside, it would have been easier to apply. Two, I may not have let the first coat completely dry. Maybe because it was cooler outside, I should have given it a longer period of time. And then I also think the subsequent coats of clear coat, I should have put on a little wetter and a little bit more consistent with more overlap. My hope is the orange peel is just from the clear coat, and what's happened is it's piled on at different layers, at different consistencies, and it has a waviness to it. So that if I sand down a number of layers, not all of the clear coat, but just enough that we can sand it down so that it's smooth, that I won't have that orange peel. So I'm going to start off with a 1500 grit sandpaper. After the 1500 grit, I'll step it up to 2000 or 2500 grit, and then we will compound and polish and hopefully improve upon that orange peel. Now I'm moving on to a 2000 grit, so progressively a finer grit. And that way when I apply the compound, it'll be able to remove the fine scratches from the 2000 grit. I want to be mindful of any curves, indents, pop-outs like this so I don't burn this. I do want to keep some clear coat on this. And as you can see, what I didn't want to happen, happened. So with the sandpaper, I did burn through the paint. This is, for those of you who didn't see the original video, this is where the gouge was. So this is where it's probably thinnest. And now I need to do something about that. I found this pretty challenging and pretty enjoyable. Meaning I'd like to do more, like to figure this out, like to understand how to perform minor repairs, how to repaint, feather the paint, clear coat the paint. So I'll get back to this, I'll repair this, but let's just remember that as we're sanding, we have to be mindful of that, not to over sand, not to sand too much where we start removing the paint layer. I'd like to take a moment to ask, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing, turn on notifications, and if you like this video, please hit that like button. It means a lot to me. It really shows that people are enjoying the content and motivates me to continue making more videos. I have my buffer with the appropriate pad. I do have some Meguiar's. I think last time I mentioned Mothers, but I had to get some more aggressive cutting compound. That has definitely cut down on the orange peel, although it's also cut down a little bit on gloss, but it's looking pretty good. I'm moving on to a less aggressive compound. Ooh. There's good and there's bad. The good is I don't see any orange peel. Wow. So I'm happy with what I've done here, except for that, and a little bit on the edges. But you know what? That's okay, because I think I need to apply a little bit more of the clear coat now in a more uniform way, because although I don't have the orange peel, it's a little less glossy. So I'm gonna go at it. I'm gonna continue to work this section, this panel, this rear fender to get it just right. I am so excited to work with the paint that I recently refurbished my wheels on my Lexus IS 300. So all four of those wheels were total curb rash, not like a mark here or there. They were just beat to hell being 21 years old, all four of them. So I had to sand everything down, strip everything down, prime them, paint them, you name it, do all of it to it. Very similar to this. And there were definitely some lessons learned there too. I also purchased a new front bumper for the Lexus IS 300, a little bit more modern, a little bit more aggressive, something that has a bigger opening for that big intercooler we'll be putting in the front when we turbocharge the car. But with that, I purchased an air gun. So I mentioned that because I think when I go back to this, instead of the rattle can, I'll be applying at least a clear coat with the new spray gun that I have. With that said, I think we're done for today. I want to thank you very much for joining, and until next time.